Okay, I'm back, and today I'm going to talk about humans in ReconQuest and their character roles. The dwarf, elf, and halfling have special abilities that humans don't have, but they're also much more restricted in their options. The human race shines in its ability to adapt and fit into many different roles. And by human race, I mean literally a human race, because in ReconQuest you can only play as a Thulian. So humans, if we go back to ability scores afterwards, humans are about this tall in inches, they weigh this much in pounds, and their starting age is this. And they have fair skin, blonde, red or light brown hair, blue, grey or green eyes. Because the Thulians are returning to their ancestral homeland, Thule, which was covered in glaciers and which has now been cleared mostly of ice, and they can return home. Whilst a dwarf, elf and halfling have no particular character role other than the same as their race, a human can pick between 5 different ones. And the first one is the bard, which in AD&D terms would be the same as a cleric. Only the bard starts out as a traveling bard, and when he, here we have the level progression table, when he reaches level 8, he will gain a new title called, namely, Uvate, which is basically, like a pagan priest. And at level 15, if he reaches that, he gains the title Druid, or if a female, a Druidess. When you become level 8 as a bard, you attract a number of followers based on his on the charisma of the bard, and it's more than for the demi-humans. Here you have half his charisma in followers. And he's no longer called a bard, he's called an Uvate, which, so in a sense you get a following when you become a priest, like a congregation, a pagan congregation. At level 15, he gains the title Druid, or a female Druidess, and he/she can open up their own temple, which is when domain play comes into the game for the bard. The bard has restrictions on the use of weapons, just like, AD&D clerics do, but they are based on the favorite deity of the bard, because the bards impersonate the deities. So they have to dress like them and use the weapons that their deities are known to use, because they gain some of their powers by impersonating them, by LARPing as the deities. You can choose your you can choose your bard's favorite deity, either with a random die roll, or you can, based on your sex. Naturally, if you play a bard, you have to impersonate a deity of the same sex as your character. The bards have special training in healing, playing music, poetry, mathematics, using or identifying magic items, heraldry, history, mythology, and knowledge about the creatures in Thule. All of these are linked to the intelligence ability score. They gain 2 extra hit points per level. They start out with 1 spell and can learn a new spell at every level. They can adjust their ability score 2 out of 3 levels they level up, and as you can tell, compared to the demi-humans, they can gain more ability score adjustments than demi-humans can. The next human character role I will talk about is the Ranger. They are idealistic human followers of the goddess Skadi, dedicated to chastity until marriage, and the task of protecting the flora and fauna of Thule against the misuse of others. They have a special connection to bears, because the goddess Skadi does. A ranger can learn one new spell from Skadi's spell list every time he levels up to an even number. They have special training in sneaking, hiding, healing and tracking. Because of their special expertise, they enjoy a -4 adjustment to the die when foraging or looking for shelter in the wilderness or pathfinding, everywhere except underground. The ranger has an improved chance to calm animals in relation to bears only. A ranger suffers no extra movement point cost for sneaking or tracking whilst traveling. The ranger gains 2 extra hit points per level and have some pretty demanding prerequisites. As you can tell, possible can gain a new spell every other level and has a great ability score adjustment potential. And they can reach level 15, and at this level a ranger attracts one single ranger follower. The sorcerer is a human spellcaster whose main task is to ensure sunshine, rainfall and good health, and to manipulate the spirits of nature for the good of society through the use of spells. In most Thulian societies, the sorcerer has lost his role as the midwife of the mind to the bard, and is first and foremost viewed with contempt, fear and hidden admiration, or as an embarrassing remnant of a more primitive past. A level 1 sorcerer starts knowing 2 Thulian spells and can learn one new Thulian spell every time he levels up. Sorcerers have no restrictions when it comes to what Thulian spells they can learn. And I may return to the bard a little bit, because the bard has to first learn the spell list known to the deity they impersonate. And then when they have learned all those, only then can they start to learn other spells. And the sorcerer has some spells that bard cannot learn as well. I will return to that when I talk about spells. An exception to this is the goddess Freya and the god Freyr, who, after they have learned their spells on their spell lists, they have to learn elf spells instead, because they are the elf queen and the elf king. Special training for sorcerers: healing, playing music, poetry, mathematics, using or identifying magic items, brewing potions, heraldry, history, mythology and knowledge about the creatures in Thule. Note that the ability to brew potions is exclusive to sorcerers. Here you can tell, actually the females have the ability to level up to level 17, while males can only level up to level 15. So female sorcerers has potential to become more powerful than male ones. And at level 12, the sorcerer attracts 3 sorcerer apprentices as followers. And inside, but still windy. When the bard reaches gains the title of druid or druidess, and the sorcerer at the same level, 15, gains the title of May King, and the female May Queen, they gain some special abilities. From then on, they can use a sword. They can bless 3 individuals every day by placing the sword on their shoulders, and thus transfers ancestral powers to them, giving them +1 to offensive value and defensive value until the next sunrise. A sorceress, instead, can lift curses and remove sickness and poisoning by serving beverage from a sacred cup, a grail. For the sorcerer, there is the problem with taboos, and they have to use these or those types of clothes. They have to use their staff to cast their spells. They cannot even touch a horse, and so forth. So they suffer from all sorts of taboos. So they have some restrictions in their cast. They can't use armor. They have to impersonate the spirits of nature in order to be able to manipulate them using their staff. The next character role for humans is the thief.